I am so excited to not only have you here today, but I'm also excited about having the dynamic duo, the dynamic diva duo of the literary world here tonight. First, we have Victoria Christopher Murray. You might know her from her oodles and oodles of books that she's written, including her latest book, Lust, which is on bookshelves now. And then she's coming out with her best friend, ReShonda Tate Billingsley, who you may also know from, oh my goodness, just so many books. But she's been doing a lot of books with Victoria Christopher Murray, like A Blessing and a Curse, It Should Have Been Me. And then, of course, you know, we have the way back books from back in the day. I used to actually love reading all those books. But I think between them, and I'm going to ask Victoria to confirm this number, I think between them, they've had probably 30 books in between them. It may even be more. So Victoria's going to tell me a little bit about that. So speaking of Victoria, without further ado, why don't we go ahead and bring her in so she's ready to get started. How are you doing, Victoria? Probably 30 books in between them. It may even be more. So Victoria's going to tell me a little bit about that. I think we just had a little bit of a sound issue, but we're about to fix that. Okay, can you hear us, Victoria? Okay, I can see her, but I can't hear her. Speaking. Okay, so you know, with the first show, we're always going to have a little bit of an issue. How are you doing, Victoria? Can you hear us, Victoria?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, that's okay. The devil is busy, but we're going to get this fixed. So while we are getting this fixed, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about Victoria and ReShonda. They are the co-CEOs of Brown Girls Books, and I remember when they were making the announcements, Victoria was doing all of these teasers, letting us know that this is about to start, but she didn't want to tell us what it was. And one time she put this post up, acting like she was about to tell us, and she goes, "Oh, no, can't tell them yet? Okay. And then she kind of just eased back some, and she just kept teasing us. And then when she finally let us see what was going on, when she finally made that announcement, I just think Brown Girls Books just blew up from there. So I really can't wait to talk with her about that and how they were able to make that come into fruition and then become a literary powerhouse, because they have a number of authors under them now. They've been able to earn some NAACP Image Awards and also some nominations. So they've been able to do this and being friends. And I think that's the really awesome thing about it, is that Victoria and ReShonda are able to work together, and that they were able to make this happen. There's so many times in this world we say that women can't work together, black women can't work together, and they are proving us wrong every single day, and I think it's awesome. So I think we've gotten the issue fixed. So can you hear me now, Victoria? Okay, she's nodding, but I don't hear her. Okay, I think we're still having a little bit of an issue. Okay. Well, are we good now? Victoria, can you hear me? No, she can't hear me. Oh, wait, she can hear me. I can't hear her. Okay, I actually heard her say, I can hear you. Okay, and see, when we did the sound check earlier, everything was great, and now we're having an issue because we're live, but I'm just going to keep on talking because that's what I do. So Victoria and ReShonda are going to be talking to us about their appearance here in New Orleans. Believe it or not, they have not signed during the Essence Festival in 10 years. And Meet the World Image Solutions is so excited about being the company to bring them back to New Orleans, because I know they have so many fans here. I was talking with the book club and letting them know that they were coming, and they were like, "Oh, we love them. We can't wait to see them." So I just think that's a big testament to their talent and their tenacity in this industry, because there are so many authors who were around when I first started who are no longer writing anymore. But we have Victoria and ReShonda who are still doing their thing out there. They're still writing. They're still bestsellers. They're still helping other authors to make it in a literary world, and that's what it's all about. Are we good to go now?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm not sure what's. Okay, so what should we do? I'll just continue to keep on talking about people. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break so we can figure out the issue, and then we're going to come right back.
Should I call in?
Hi, this is Jill Samuels with Faith That Works. Join us every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and 12 noon on New Orleans Talk Network as we change the lives of people with the Word of God by equipping the body of Christ to evangelize the world while reconciling people back to God. We continue to carry the water to the desert because Jesus is the living water.
Stop this hauling water to the sea.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Are you a member of Bedside Baptist? Well, now you can join Bethesda House of Prayer every Sunday for our live broadcast. It starts at approximately 9:45 every Sunday morning. Just go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com and click play. We can't wait for you to join us from your home. And don't forget, if you want to join us live and in person, service starts for 9 a.m. and we are located at 7601 West Bank Expressway, Marrero, Louisiana, 70072, Suite C.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Okay, so I guess we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but I think that we have resolved it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you in on the conversation now.
Okay, good.
Okay, so before we went to break, I was just kind of letting the audience in on how you guys started Brown Girls Books and how you were able to grow the company so quickly. How do you think that happened?
Well, I don't think, well, first I want to thank you for having us. You have been such a great friend and supporter for Oh my God, Rhonda, how long have we known each other?
Oh, it's been at
15?
least about what, maybe 11 or 12 years?
Yeah, I was gonna say at least that. At least that. But uh, when we started Brown Girls, we had no idea really what we were doing, because we didn't expect to get so many manuscripts. We had like 300 within the first month. It may have been even more than that. And we had to almost close submissions right away. We still haven't been able to reopen submissions because we have so many manuscripts. And so it took off because there's a lot of talent out there. It's been a challenge because it's still a business. It's a publishing business. It's a small business, a small company. So it has all the challenges of that, but we just love when we could bring good books to people. And that's what we always talk about, Brown Girls, the best in books.
But you say that not very many people can open a publishing company and get 300 manuscripts so quickly. And I remember seeing you in action when we actually signed together at the Essence Festival. I believe it was in 2007, the last time you were here. And a young lady came up to you and told you that she wanted to get into the business. She already had a manuscript. And then you asked her for the manuscript, and she had it like right then and there. And you were able to give her some great advice. Do you find yourself doing that a lot when you're out touring?
Yes, I do all the editing for Brown Girls books, but I teach online writing classes, and I do private editing. And that, Rhonda, I think I love more than anything, because when I'm doing editing for a person, editing their manuscript, it gives me an opportunity to teach them, and I've taken a lot of writing classes. I still do. I read up on writing all the time, and I try to read about 50 books a year. And I do that only because I think I want to keep getting better in my craft. So the thing that I love most is ghostwriting and editing.
It's amazing. It's interesting to me that you point out that you read 50 books a year. I actually remember you posting about that on Facebook, and it got me started with reading 50 books a year, because I've always loved to read since I was a child. But setting that goal for 50 books helped me to keep it in the forefront of my mind to continue to read. And one of the things that I wanted to start with Meet the World Image Solutions was helping people to make reading fun again, because so many people have gotten away from reading. We even see some authors out there who say they don't have time to read, they don't want to read, or they think reading somebody else's work is going to somehow taint their own work, so they don't want to read. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't think you can be a great writer unless you're a great reader. Because reading does a couple of things for you. The number one thing it does for you is it teaches you. Without even you knowing it, you're going to learn more about writing, what to do and what not to do. And reading motivates you. It's like being a surgeon and never going back to school to take any more classes.
Right.
And I think writers have to do the same thing. And then in terms of, I've heard a lot of people say that they don't read when they're writing because they're afraid they'll take somebody else's voice on. That has never been an issue for me because I have a strong enough voice. And I almost think sometimes that's an excuse. I think reading is where writing begins. And most of the people that will tell you that they wanted to be writers since they were children is because they loved reading. And then that naturally went into the writing thing. But if somebody tells me that they write but they don't read, I'm really suspect. And then I also wonder, how can you want somebody to spend money on your book, but you're not willing to do what you're asking them to do for you?
Yes.
It's so weird to me. But I've always heard every great writer out there, from Stephen King to James Patterson, all talk about you cannot be a writer if you're not a reader.
So what are some of your favorite books?
Oh my goodness, I just finished, I'm sure you probably have heard about this book, The Hate You Give. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I have. I haven't read it yet, though.
Yeah, it's really good, and it was a very interesting book for me because I wrote a novel called Stand Your Ground.
Yes.
And I actually won the NAACP Image Award for Stand Your Ground. And Stand Your Ground is exactly what the title says. It's about a young 17-year-old boy who gets shot by a white man. And The Hate You Give is, and so wait a minute, let me back up to Stand Your Ground. I told the story through the eyes of the mother of the young man who was shot and then the wife of the shooter. So it was a Black family and a white family and how their lives intertwined. And The Hate You Give, it's with the young Black girl who was in the car with the young boy who gets shot, or the young man, because he's 17, who gets shot. And so it is her perspective all the way through the book. Everything from being there when he was shot to going through the trial to her parents trying to protect her because she's the witness. It's a very good book. And another thing that I loved about the book was the title, The Hate You Give. And remember, that was in Tupac's Thug Life.
Yes.
The Hate You Give, and so it stands for Thug. And so I absolutely love that. But that was a really good book. I'm reading Her Secret Life right now by Tiffany Warren. I've had a really good reading year. I'm looking down now to get some of the books I've read this year. I don't know what it's about, because some years you don't have a great, year reading books. But I've had some really good books. I read Blackwater Rising by, oh my goodness, what's her name? Attica Locke. She actually writes on the show Empire.
Okay.
Another great book I read this year was Goodbye Days. And it was about a young boy who, he's 17 too, and he texts his friends. 3 of his friends are on their way to meet him. And he texts them, and then they get into a car accident, and all 3 of them die. So some really, really good books. I read
How many books are you up to now?
Excuse me?
How many books are you up to now?
For this year, so far, just 17. I feel like I've slowed down, but I'm going to hit my 50.
Well, 17 is probably more than what some people are actually reading now. I've been trying to get to my 50, and it seems like life keeps getting in the way. So you still beating me at my at my race to 50.
Yeah, well, no matter what I do, I read every day. I have to read on the elliptical machine, and I make sure that I get on the elliptical every day for 45 minutes to an hour. So I read every day for at least 45 minutes to an hour. I've also started doing something where I buy both the book and the audio. And so if I go out walking, I will listen to the book and then pick up reading it.
Okay. Well, here's a question. I'm sorry.
It syncs together, so.
Oh, yeah. And I need to get into that. I mean, I love audiobooks, and I love ebooks, but I still like to hold a book. So that was actually going to be my question. Audiobooks, ebooks, or physical books?
For me, and I hate to say it because it was people like me who probably put the industry out of business, but I buy both the audio and the ebook, because if I buy it on Amazon, it syncs. So when I listen to it in my earphone and through an audiobook, when I'm ready to read it, it picks up right where I left off. And then when I'm reading it, then when I go to audio, it picks up. So I feel like I'm still helping the industry because I buy both. And you get a discount when you buy the audio book. So what I pay for the digital and the audio together is what I used to pay for hardback books.
So it sounds like by using those, at least the 2 methods, one, yes, you are still supporting the literary industry, but you're still making time to read. So there's really not an excuse that there's no time to read.
Yes, but I don't have a lot of time to like just sit down and read. I can't remember the last time I did that. Though I try to do that sometimes before I go to bed, but I'm exhausted. So I multitask. I'm either out walking, um, because I still have to get my Fitbit steps in. So I'm either out walking and then I'm listening to a book, or I'm on the elliptical machine and I'm reading a book.
Okay.
So I multitask.
Gotcha. And it makes sense. I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm out walking. I
Yeah.
love a good audiobook. Some people
It's
think that's boring to listen to a book while
Oh
you're
my God,
exercising. I
it's
love
so
it.
good. It is so good, especially if you get some good people. ReShonda got me started on audiobooks. And I started, interestingly enough, because everybody was telling me that my book, Stand Your Ground, was so good on audio, because Suzanne Douglas, the actor, is the reader. And so I got it for free. I said, okay, I've never read one of my books, never listened to one of my books. Let me see. And I was hooked. I was hooked after that.
Now that you mentioned ReShonda, how did you two become such great friends? I know you've been friends for a long time, and I know you've been writing together for a long time. And I actually read, oh goodness, the name of the book is slipping from me. The book where they all were on the reality show.
Oh, Fortune and Fame. Yeah.
Yes, Fortune and Fame.
We met each other in the industry, and because our books were similar, we ended up being at a lot of places together. So we were really good friends. I think she's really funny and really cool. And then one day, her publisher, we're both with Simon & Schuster, but we're in different divisions. Her publisher saw us together one day, and she said, you two should write a book together. And we didn't even think about it. We were like, okay, that might be a good idea. So we actually came up with one book idea. But then my publisher and my agent did not want me to do it. Oh my God. Rhonda, they fought me for a year. It took me a year to get them to let me to do it. They kept saying, no, 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 no. And finally, when they said yes, they said, okay, she can do it, but we're stealing the idea. So now we had to do 2 books. And so we ended up doing the first book, Sinners and Saints, and then we did Friends and Foes. And they did so well that they gave us another 2-book deal, and we did Fortune and Fame, and then A Blessing and a Curse just came out.
All right. And it seems to be working for you because you continue to write and people are absolutely loving you guys. I was telling somebody about you. I said, they can't say anything on Facebook without getting at least 60 comments. I mean, but what I do like about it is that you use your platform to inform. I mean, so you're not just talking about your books, you're not just promoting your books, but you're also keeping people informed on what's going on the political front, or you're letting people know what's going on socially. So people are actually learning from your pages as well as enjoying your books.
Yeah, well, I think people call me the CNN of Facebook. So I have people who say that they come home from work and they check my page. I was like, no, you got to keep checking the news. But I do. I was telling somebody on Facebook today that when I was growing up, my favorite class, well, I love math and I loved English, but my favorite classes were social studies and civics. I was fascinated with learning all about the history of this country and all the way up to modern times. And then civics, I wanted to learn about how the government worked and the 3 arms. And I never wanted to go into politics, but I was always very interested in it, partly because of my parents, but also because of how I was taught in school. I loved that subject.
Right.
And so I didn't realize how little people know. Like, so many people keep talking about, that person in the Oval Office now being impeached, and that's not going to happen just because of the way the system is set up.
Right.
So yesterday I posted something about law and order to teach everybody about the House of Representatives and the Senate, so that you could understand why impeachment won't happen.
And for a lot of people, that is how they get their news. So the fact that you're using your platforms to let people know how the judicial system works or how the political system works is actually a great thing, I think.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy that I'm more than just my books. You know, my pastor watches my Facebook page, and she once told me that she doesn't think writing is my dominant gift. She thinks that this information, this news thing, is what I should be doing. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, but Marcy, what did you think of that? Do you think you might go into news or politics one day?
Oh, I won't go into politics. I always tell people you don't have to worry about me going into politics, because what I did in my 20s won't stand up to scrutiny. Though with the guy we got now, he did whatever he wanted, so who knows?
You never know.
No, I'm not interested in politics at all in terms of me running. And in terms of news, I would do something online or something, but not something in the networks.
Gotcha. So, moving on from politics, let's get back to the literary front. Let's
Yes.
talk about your upcoming. Well, actually, I think we're going to take a quick break. Are we taking a break? Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back from our commercial break, let's talk about the New Orleans Literary Takeover, as well as MBP Publications, the events you'll be doing here in New Orleans.
Okay, perfect.
All righty.
Soul food, and then there's food for the soul. At a time where we live to eat, the Praline Connection restaurant serves up recipes that reach back into days long gone. You know, the kind of meals your mama cooked up for Sunday dinner. Fried chicken with macaroni and cheese and candied yams, homemade meatloaf with garlic mashed potatoes and string beans, or Nolan's filet gumbo. That's the real soul you get only at the Praline Connection restaurant, located at the Kona, Chalmers and Frenchman Street in the Marinade.
Happy Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned in to New Orleans Talk Network.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Hi, this is Jill Samuels with Faith That Works. Join us every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and 12 noon on New Orleans Talk Network as we change the lives of people with the Word of God by equipping the body of Christ to evangelize the world while reconciling people back to God. Let us continue to carry the water to the desert because Jesus is the living water.
Stop this hauling water to the sea.
New morning show alert! New morning show alert! The Warren Ballantyne Show airs daily from 9 to 11 a.m. Central Time, bringing you the news you need to know. The Warren Ballantyne Show, now on the New Orleans Talk Network.
And we are back. So we are here with Ms. Victoria Christopher Murray, and we want to let you know if you'd like to call in and ask your own questions, all you have to do is call 504-341-8255. That's 504-341-8255. But until then, we're just going to keep it rolling with Victoria. She's going to be talking about her upcoming appearances in New Orleans. She mentioned earlier in the show that she has not been to New Orleans in 10 years. And so now Meet the World Image Solutions is bringing her back, and she's going to be at 5 different events for the New Orleans Literary Takeover. And I'll be telling you more information about that. But let's turn it over to Victoria. What do you have planned for us?
Well, I'm really excited that we're going to be there with you for, is it 2 or 3 events?
Well, I have 5 events, and then I know you're also going to be with MBP Publications signing on Sunday, so you actually have a pretty action-packed weekend.
It doesn't even matter. We're going to be back in New Orleans for the first time in 10 years, and I am so excited.
Yes.
I am so excited. ReShonda and I will be talking about our latest novels. Of course, we'll be signing them. And then also we will be talking about the industry, Brown Girls Books, answering questions. So we hope that people will come out whether they're interested in reading or in writing.
All right. And, and I think that's actually going to happen because, like I said, people know you two as a wealth of information. So even if they have all of your books, it doesn't mean that they can't come out and have a good time.
Right. And come out and have a good time and say, hey.
Yes.
New Orleans.
So our first event of that weekend is actually going to be on the Thursday, June 29th, which also happens to be my birthday.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to go out and do something afterwards for your birthday now.
Yes. But see, the good part about it is that June 29th is the meet and greet that's going to be at the New Orleans Drink Lab. And that place actually only opened a couple years ago, so you've not seen it yet, but it's very beautiful inside. You're actually going to really like it. I'm sorry?
I'm so excited.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to have a good time, though. There we're going to have all of the authors come out and just do a meet and greet. We actually even have a celebrity host, Teresa Tai, who's also going to be out. And just helping to keep the party going, we have a live band featuring Brian Toval. He's a New Orleans musician here. And let me tell you, he is awesome. You are absolutely going to love his music. So then that happens on the 29th. On the 30th, we're going over to Community Book Center. We've got to support the Community Book Center and Vera over at the Community Book Center. She's done so much for authors. Many authors have gotten their first book signings. People like me, I got my first book signing with Vera. So we've got to be able to give something back to her.
Yes.
So we'll be doing that on the 30th. And then after that, we're going over to Second Vine Wine, which is an African-American owned wine shop here in New Orleans. And that's actually another new wine shop. They weren't around the last time you guys came to New Orleans. So you're going to see a whole lot of new things while you're here.
Can't wait. I cannot wait for it. I'm looking forward to it so much.
Okay. So we're going to be at the at Community Book Center at 11, or excuse me, at noon. We'll be there from noon to 3. And then right after that, we're going to over to Second Vine Wine, where we're going to have another reception right over there, and we're going to have a wine tasting. So it'll be fun. And then we move over to that Saturday. We're going to have a brunch and books over at 14 Parishes Restaurant. They are a Jamaican restaurant. Their food is really, really good. And then Teresa Tai will be back again to keep the party going over at our brunch and books. And then you're going to end the whole weekend, at least the New Orleans Literary Takeover weekend portion. You'll be ending that at the Riverwalk, and you'll be doing about 4 hours over there. And that's going to start at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's where you'll be ending it. And then that whole time we have MBB productions going on, or MBB publications going on, and they are going to be doing a whole lot. They're going to be doing book signings all throughout the Riverwalk for that entire weekend as well. And then you'll be signing with them on that Sunday.
On a Sunday. And everybody can get all of this information on my website. So if they didn't get everything that you were saying now on my website, which is my name, VictoriaChristopherMurray.com, they'll be able to see all the events and show up to 1, 2, or all 5. Show up everywhere.
Yes, show up everywhere. We're just gonna have a good time no matter where. Okay.
Yep, definitely.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and make room for ReShonda, and
Okay.
let her in. But before we hang up, I did want to you said you wanted to say a couple words about Vera and Community Book Center. So I actually had an author call me about that today. I'm sorry?
Vera's the one that got so many African American authors started, and like you said, your first book signing, and she invited us all down to Essence when she used to do it, when nobody else would have us and nobody knew us, and she really gave us a platform to really get started. And so I know that she's having some challenges now, and I would just ask everybody to go over and support her because she's done nothing but support us. And I'm so proud of her. She's been through a lot. You know, she stuck it, her and her husband stuck it out through Katrina. And I saw them on CNN when that happened, and her husband said he had his MBA, I believe, and he said, but Katrina was the great equalizer. But they made it through that. They've stuck it through this industry, and their only purpose was to support African-American authors. So I hope that we as African-American authors and African-American readers can support them.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And you are absolutely right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to we're going to take a break and we're going to let you go. We're going to bring ReShonda in so she can say a few words as well.
The last time I saw you, we were in Europe drinking wine.
That's so true. That is so true. I drove from Belgium over to Germany to hear you speak.
Yeah, and I have been a wine snob ever since. So
Me too. Being in Europe does that to you. All right, thank you so much for coming out and making time for us.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so we're going to take a quick little break, and then we will be right back with ReShonda Tate Billingsley.
Soul food, and then there's food for the soul. At a time where we live to eat, the Praline Connection restaurant serves up recipes that reach back into days long gone. You know, the kind of meals your mama cooked up for Sunday dinner. Fried chicken with macaroni and cheese and candied yams, homemade meatloaf with garlic mashed potatoes and string beans, or Nolan's filet gumbo. That's the real soul you get only at the Praline Connection restaurant, located at the corner, Charters and Frenchman Street in the Marinade.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
This is the Reverend D. Dunn.
And Charles Stewart.
We will be coming to you live every Monday, 11 to 12 noon on New Orleans Talk Network, hosting a new show, A Church Without Walls. The church is us, and the church is you. We are a church with no boundaries. Stay as long as you want, leave when you want. Remember, every Monday, 11 to 12 noon, tune into A Church with No Walls.
Don't you dare miss it.
Y'all know me, this is a people person here. Big homie hit. It's your boy Fred. This man, a big fan. Right. Listen, we're your host of the New Orleans Talk Network's Fan View. Real fans talk, real sports. Check us out every Thursday night, 6 p.m.
Are you a member of Bedside Baptist? Well, now you can join Bethesda House of Prayer every Sunday for our live broadcast. It starts at approximately 9:45 every Sunday morning. Just go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com and click play. We can't wait for you to join us from your home. And don't forget, if you want to join us live and in person, service starts for 9 a.m. and we are located at 7601 West Lake Expressway, Marrero, Louisiana, 70072, Suite C.
All right, and we are back, and we have the other half of the dynamic duo, Miss ReShonda Tate Billingsley. How you doing, ReShonda? Hi, ReShonda, can you hear me? Uh-oh, I think we lost her. But while we're getting ReShonda back, as I mentioned, ReShonda is the other half of the dynamic duo, and she is like basically a powerhouse. I mean, she was a television news reporter in Houston at one time, and then she transitioned into writing fiction, and then she came. Now, basically, that's what she's doing. Now she's running Brown Girls Books along with Victoria Christopher Murray. So, are you there, ReShonda?
I am. Can you see me?
Okay, she's almost there. So, okay, I see her, and so that means she's coming. I hope you guys are starting to see her as well. But as I said, she's gone from being that news reporter into going into fiction, and now she is the CEO of a major publishing firm, and she's doing absolutely fabulous. And she's another person, if you ask her a question, if you need her help, she's right there, and she doesn't mind informing, she doesn't mind helping. And she's another one who I remember back when she was keeping us updated on all of the reality shows, and now she's keeping us updated on what's going on in the news. So she's another person who's just absolutely full of information. So I can't wait to get her on the line. Are you there, ReShonda?
I am.
Hi, ReShonda. I can hear you.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm great. Were you able to hear anything I was saying about you?
I heard everything.
All right, so tell us about that. How you made that transition from being the news reporter to being a Brown Girls Book CEO?
You know, I kind of juggled both for a while. I was a reporter and anchor as well as an author. So writing books was kind of my side hustle. And, you know, there came a point where my side hustle wanted to be my full-time hustle. So I ended up leaving my job at Fox 26 News in Houston to write books full-time.
Well, all right. I remember one time you mentioned that I think one of your fellow reporters said, you know, it's going to rain today, so why don't you just go ahead and stay home and read ReShonda's book?
Yes, you know, I had publicity and marketing that you just can't pay for because, you know, I had a lot of friends at the TV station, and my self-published book, that was actually the case. The Weatherman, he would just out of the blue say it's going to be cloudy with a chance of rain, and it's going to rain all day, so go run to Barnes & Noble and stay inside with ReShonda's book all day. So you couldn't buy publicity like that.
No, I think that's absolutely awesome. When your coworkers can support you, then you know you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
So I was actually talking with Victoria a little bit earlier, and I asked her how you two came to be such great friends. And she was saying how your publishing companies actually kind of encouraged you two to start writing together because you have pretty similar books.
They did. And see, Victoria gives the alternative facts version of how we met. So since she's now gone, she can't dispute my version. But we met at her book signing that I went to. She was in Houston for a book signing. And I went there, and there was a lot of people there. And so she blew me off and barely said hello to me. But I, being the bigger person, decided to go ahead and give her the benefit of the doubt and continue to allow her to be my friend.
Oh, well, that is so gracious of you.
And you know what? We just kind of hit it off. Victoria's very sharing of the industry. And so we actually had, although we both started out self-publishing, our journeys into the business were a little different. And so along the way, though, she continued to share. We both were with Simon & Schuster, and so she would tell me things that I was one of those authors that was just happy to have a book deal. So she shared a lot of knowledge that helped me open doors in the industry. And we just grew to be friends. And I loved her writing. She loved mine. And it was a perfect partnership.
And I think you two like to embody your characters a little bit, don't you?
You know, people always say that I have a little bit of Rachel in me. Just a tad bit of country in me, and you know, I'm proud of that. I'm originally from Smackover, Arkansas, so I got a little country in me, and I'm okay with that. And Victoria has a little of Jasmine in her, a little bougie, a lot of bougie, and so that's her character, Jasmine, and that, you know, my character Rachel. And so we take on a little bit of their personas.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think there's still some people out there who call me Andrea for my very first book. So
yeah,
it happens. It's all good. So tell me about your upcoming appearance in New Orleans. You're going to be on all 5 events of the New Orleans Literary Takeover, and then you're going to move over on that Sunday over to MBP Publications, and they're signing over at the Riverwalk. So how do you feel about coming back to New Orleans?
I am so excited. Like Victoria, it's been a long time since I've been there. I hadn't had a book signing since before Katrina. So I am so excited to be coming back and just having a great time in the Crescent City. I love New Orleans, really looking forward to it. But, you know, one of the things is you can't ask me what times and all of that. I'll let you tell them because I'll have them coming on August 1st. I am not good with the times. I'm one of those people. I look 5 minutes before it's time for me to go. All I know is I'm in good hands. Rhonda's taking care of everything, and we will have a fantastic time.
Well, thank you so much, and I am really going to make sure that you all are taken very good care of. So, so now I did want to move back a little bit. You mentioned that you started off as self-published. How do you think you were able to go from being a self-published author to being a traditionally published author to then actually owning your own publishing company? And you said you started off not really knowing a lot about the business. You were just happy to get a deal. So what was it? What do you think those aspects were that helped you to move from being self-published to actually being a decision maker in the publishing industry now?
Yeah, because I'm one of those people that if you send me on 10 cities, I'm going to do 5 more on my own. And so that's one of the things that my publisher really appreciated from the very beginning. When I came on with Simon & Schuster, it was Pocket Books at the time, they just printed my books and said, here you go. And so one of the things that I did is I said, okay, you know, when I had a lot of colleagues that were saying, okay, I'm not going to take a book deal since you won't send me on a big tour and all of that. I said, you don't believe in me right now completely, because they believed enough to give me a deal. But I said, you don't believe in me? Just give me a minute. Hang on and I'll show you. And so I keep that self-published mentality, even though I'm 43 books in of a mainstream publishing deal. But I keep a self-published mentality even to this day in terms of hustle. I am one of those people that I am forever hustling. I am looking for all avenues. I'm forever trying to grow. I don't rest on my laurels.
And that's awesome. Yet, and because, you know, a lot of us, you know, we might have a couple of books in and we start to think that we're above certain things. But you're saying you always keep that self-published mentality to where you're going to do what you have to do to stay in the industry.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's like I said, when they will give me, they say, you know, we're not going to send you on tour at all. So then I send myself on tour. And eventually Simon & Schuster was like, wait a minute, we might need to put our money behind this girl who's doing things on her own. I wouldn't wait on them to do a press release. I'd say, hey, here's my press release. You can doctor it up however you want, but it's done. I wouldn't wait on them to print my postcards. I just did it all myself until they said, this is somebody we want to get behind.
And I think that's the big thing now is that, with the publishing industry changing, we can't wait for our publishers to do it all for us. We have to get out there and continue to hustle, continue to try to promote your own books, and then go from there.
Right. So many people have that, it's a flawed mentality that I get with the publisher and I'm going to sit back and rake in the checks and just wait for all of my success to come. And unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You, especially in this day and age, you have got to get out there and continue to pound the pavement, which is what I'm always doing.
Well, all right. And that's why I am so happy that you are coming to New Orleans. And if there is anybody out there who wants to meet ReShonda and meet Victoria, then come on out to the New Orleans Literary Takeover. Come out to the meet and greet that we're having on the 29th over at the Drink Lab. And if you get your ticket, if you've been checking out my T-shirt, I know you might not be able to see it over the table, but if you've been checking out my T-shirt, then if you get a ticket to the meet and greet prior to June 15th or by June 15th, you will get a free T-shirt. What we are doing is we are promoting literacy. That's what it's all about, is letting people know that reading is fun, that reading does not have to be this boring, stoic thing that you just sit there and you're stuck inside and you're reading. You can get out and read. I mean, I see you're outside right now, aren't you, ReShonda?
I am. I'm in North Carolina, and I'm on my deck in North Carolina. I love my deck. It's getting a little dark now, but yes, I'm outside. I'm actually preparing to move, so I have no furniture inside.
So you have to be outside right now.
I know.
So I asked Victoria, and I'm going to ask you, audiobooks, ebooks, or physical books?
I keep the physical books for my bookshelf because there's something about a full bookshelf that I just love. But I am a big audiobooks person. I love audiobooks, because I'm always on the go. Mm-hmm. So in my car, I'm either listening to CNN or an audiobook, or it's just quiet. I very seldom do music in the car, which of course drives my kids crazy. But yep, I'd have to vote for audiobooks.
Yeah, I actually love traveling with an audiobook, and I love exercising with an audiobook. But I still like to hold a physical book every now and then.
Yeah, I love to really, really work out and listen to. I know Victoria's at home rolling her eyes because, I hadn't worked out in a minute. I plan to, though. I'm going to get back on the program. But when I do work out, I like to listen to an audiobook. I do. I walk from my bedroom to the kitchen.
Wow. I think I remember some banter on Facebook between you two about exercising.
I do. You know what I will? I do like exercising, but I want to go and I want to run about 3 miles and then come home and I have lost 3 pounds. And then, when it doesn't work out like that, I get a little frustrated.
Yeah, maybe you have to come up with just a new mindset when it comes to it, right?
I do. I need to come up with some money to go lay on the table and wake up fine. That's what I want to do.
So my daughter just popped in on Facebook and said she's an audiobooks person. She actually listens to the audiobooks when we travel, and she gets into them. In fact, she won't let me listen to the book until, if we finish driving and we're not finished with the book yet, I'm not allowed to listen to the book again until we're traveling again so she can hear it.
Yeah, I feel you there.
So we're actually coming close to the end, but I did want to ask you, what is your advice? I know you spoke a bit about having that hustle mentality and never acting like, you're above getting out there and hustling your books. And even though you have 43 books, which I didn't realize, I said earlier that you had 30 books between you. I think it must be more like about 100 books between you, huh?
Yeah, we wrote some during the break. Yeah, but see, I write in several different genres. So I write for teenagers and I write nonfiction.
Awesome. Well, we do have some teenagers viewing. So can you call out a couple of titles that they might be able to go run and get their hands on?
Yeah, I have a series called the Rumor Central series, and then another series called the Drama. It's called, the first one is called Nothing But Drama, and they all deal with the same group of girls, the Good Girls series.
Okay. Because I know my daughter's always looking for a book, and sometimes I try to get her to read some of the heavier books, like Their Eyes Were Watching God or I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which are great books, but sometimes she just wants to read a book about some characters who are her age, I guess.
That's why I wrote the books, because I wanted to give teenagers some drama-filled, page-turning books, but without sex or profanity.
And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Well, I do want to thank you for joining me, and I want to thank you so much for believing in the vision of Meet the World Image Solutions and coming out for the New Orleans Literary Takeover. I mean, I believe it's just going to be an awesome event, and it's because both you and Victoria have been so supportive of helping to make this happen.
Well, we are so looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, now, is there anything else that you would like to, any pieces of advice that you would like to give some future writers out there?
Yeah, stop talking about doing it and do it. There are so many people with a book inside of them, and they have one reason or another on why they're not getting it out. Life will always get in the way, and it's all about the discipline of writing. And stop talking about getting it done and get it done.
Well, all right. Well, you heard it here. So what I would like to say to everybody watching, reading does not have to be something boring. You can incorporate it into your daily life, whether it's through an ebook, an audiobook, or a physical book. If you have something that you need to get out of you, write it down, because you never know where the next bestseller is going to come from. Am I right?
That's right, absolutely. And the worst feeling in the world is to have that bestseller inside of you and then go look and see someone else has your book, because you still kept yours in your head.
Yes, yes. All right, well, thank you once again, and that's all we have for Meet the World Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions today. I am your host, Rhonda M Lawson. I want to thank my guests, Victoria Christopher Murray and the beautiful ReShonda Tate Billingsley, who is sitting out on her beautiful deck, hanging out with us. So next week, we will have 2 more great authors, so just stay tuned to Meet the World Image Solutions and Horizons, and you will see who it's going to be. You will see what we're going to be talking about, and we're going to keep this thing going. This is going to be a show you do not want to miss every week at 7 p.m. here on the New Orleans Talk Network. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
How does a crawfish or shrimp etouffee sound? What about a piping hot cup of gumbo? Or a catfish platter with soft shell crawfish, catfish, livers, and pickles? And that's just for starters. What about entrees? If this is getting your mouth watering, then you need to come to the Praline Connection. Our down-home restaurant has been providing soul food at affordable prices for over 20 years. And our pralines are delicious. We're a restaurant, a gift shop, and a candy shop, all in one. Bring your friends and enjoy an amazing meal today. Come see us at 542